Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really huge question about how societies work. What happens when the people in charge have to follow the rules? And what happens when they don't? We're diving into that critical line between a limited and an unlimited government. So, to really get a handle on this, let's just use a simple sports analogy. Imagine you're watching a big game, right? Everything's on the line. Now, picture the referee, the one person who's supposed to be totally neutral, suddenly starts playing for the other team. What kind of game would that even be?
Exactly. In a fair game, the ref is stuck with the official rulebook, making sure it's an even playing field for everybody. But in an unfair game, well, one person has all the power to just change the rules whenever they feel like it. And that right there is the core difference we're talking about today when it comes to government power.
So what is it that keeps the government referee in check? What stops them from just playing for their own team all the time? Well, the answer is a rule book that even the government itself has to follow.
And this is called the rule of law. You can think of it as the official rulebook for the entire game of governance. It basically says that everyone, from you and me to the most powerful leaders in the country, has to play by the same set of rules. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gets to be above the law.
And check this out. This table lays out the two opposing ideas so clearly. On one side, you've got a limited government, where the power actually flows from the people. Individual rights are the top priority, and you have things like checks and balances to keep power in line. But on the other side, power flows down from a ruler. People's rights take a back seat, and there are basically no real limits on power at all.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how do these ideas actually look in the real world? Let's take a look at the different kinds of governments we've seen throughout history, and even today, to really understand where that power comes from.
You know, if you look back through history, there's been this really fascinating shift. For a long time, we had systems of absolute monarchy, where a king or queen had total, unlimited power. But over time, that's moved towards things like constitutional monarchies, where power is shared, and eventually to representative democracies, where the ultimate power, the final say, actually rests with the people themselves.
You can really think of it all as a spectrum. On one end, you have the limited systems, like the representative democracies we just talked about, and way over on the other end, you've got the unlimited systems. Authoritarian governments put all the power into the hands of a small group, but then you have totalitarianism, which is the absolute extreme, where the government literally tries to control every single part of your life.
And in these unlimited systems, the goal isn't just to rule, it's to completely dominate. They want to control social life, political life, economic life. Any kind of disagreement is just crushed, usually through fear and violence, because any challenge at all to their absolute power is seen as a major threat.
Okay, so this all might sound pretty high level, right? Kings, governments, control. But what does any of this actually mean for your day-to-day life? Let's bring this whole abstract idea down to a place that most of us know pretty well.
Just picture this. You walk into your local public library. You can browse thousands of books on literally any topic you can think of, and you can check out whatever you want. That very simple, everyday freedom, that is a direct result of living under a limited government.
The fact that you can choose any book, that you can explore all these different viewpoints, that you can learn freely without somebody looking over your shoulder, these things are not accidents. The kinds of services a limited government provides are specifically designed to protect and even expand your daily freedoms, especially your freedom to think.
And this right here shows the night and day difference. In a limited system, the library is there to empower you, to help you think for yourself. But in an unlimited system, that same library becomes a tool of control, where you can only read state-approved books that are designed to control what you think.
So, here's the bottom line. The really crucial thing to get is that these rules, they aren't just some abstract political theories. They are the absolute foundation of your personal freedom. They are literally what stands between freedom and control.
You know, this was the #1 fear for the founders of many modern democracies. They understood something fundamental about power, that any power that has no limits, no matter how good the intentions are at the start, will, eventually, crush the rights of the very people it's supposed to be serving.
And in the end, that's what this is all about. By putting limits on the government with things like a constitution and the rule of law, a society makes sure that the referee can't just rig the game. It guarantees at least a measure of fair play for everyone.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Beyond just the library, what are some of the rules you see in your life every day that protect your freedom to choose, to speak your mind, and to live your life the way you want to? Because at the end of the day, the rules matter, because they're protecting the fairness of the whole game.